Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 9, Step by Step, Part 2 of 2. Obstacles alone can toughen your character. You have put your legs to their legitimate use. Do you feel any pain now? Any tension in the muscles? No. You are filled with Ananda, bliss. All that bother was to get this Ananda. Is it for my sake that you underwent this Padayatra, pilgrimage on foot? No, it is for your own sake, for this chance of sitting around me and listening to my words. Outside this room now, there are thousands waiting for a few words from me. But you have earned the chance by the proper use of your limbs. You told me yesterday, Swami, we have been coming to you since 10 years. You have spoken to us often, but why is it we have not progressed a bit in our sadhana, spiritual practice to earn peace and joy? Well, it is not enough if nice dishes are cooked and arranged in the kitchen. They have to be served on your plates, and you have to eat them, and more than all, digest them. So too, is it not enough if I speak and you hear? You have to recollect what I have said and treasure them in the cavity of your heart, and ruminate over them and put them into daily practice. Some of you feel neglected by me when some disappointment or trouble comes upon you. You must welcome such obstacles, for they alone can toughen your character and make your faith firmer. When you hang a picture on the nail driven into the wall, you shake the nail and find out whether it is firm enough to bear the weight of the picture, don't you? So too, in order to prevent the picture of God from falling and getting broken into bits, the nail, name of God, driven into the wall of your heart, has to be shaken by means of a disaster or two. Suppose I ask one of you now to jump from the first floor. You should not hesitate and weigh the pros and cons and slide away, for fear of injuring your feet. It is a method of shaking the nail to ascertain whether it is firm and steady. You must take it as a leela, divine sport of mine, and jump. If you do so, no injury will happen, or else I would not ask you to do it. Married life will not bar your way to realization. When journeying towards God, anyone who objects must be bypassed. Prahlada went against his father. Vibhishana went against his brother. Jamadagni had to harm his own mother. Meera could not obey her husband because they stuck to the path of God and broke through all those who opposed them. Young men like you have the problem, I know, of being forced to marry against your will by parents who seek to hasten you into marital security. You have to win them over and get their approval, as Shankara did when he wanted to enter the monastic order. But let me tell you that married life and being a grihastha, householder, will not bar your way to realization. Look upon the wife and the children as a sacred trust and serve them in that spirit. Prepare yourselves for a celibate and spiritual discipline from the age of 50. The 5 senses have to be mastered by the time 5 decades of your life are over. The conclusion of 6 decades means that you have conquered the 6 foes of man: lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and hate. When you are 70, you must have become ready to merge with the seven sages, the seven seas, and the seven colors of the solar ray. That is to say, you must be far, far above mundane desires and ideals, and as near the point of mergence as possible through sadhana. God is the power behind the wheel of life. 80 must see you in line with the deities that preside over the 8 cardinal points, more or less divine in attributes and characteristics. 90 takes you, or rather should take you, to the realm of the 9 planets, into the realm of the super. When man reaches the 100 mark, living out the 10 decades, he must have mastered the 10 senses, the 5 senses of action and the 5 senses of knowledge, and become wisdom incarnate, with no trace of action or the consequence thereof, or the desire for it. He and the Absolute are one and indivisible. But all this is about the Padayatra of the pilgrimage of life. Let me tell you now about your 400-mile yatra journey. Arjuna had the privilege of having Krishna as his charioteer during the battle of Kurukshetra, but he did not realize that Krishna was his charioteer every moment of his life. You also must have thought that I was with you all through the 400-mile route, as if I have not been with you before and since. Krishna commissioned the great bowman Arjuna to escort the women of the Yadava clan to a safe place of refuge when he decided to end his earthly career. On the way, some wild tribals attacked the convoy and Arjuna rose to destroy them. With his Gandiva, the famous bow and divine arrow, he had won by severe austerity. But the charioteer had gone, the strength had ebbed away. He had forgotten even the formula for invoking the deities who directed the arrows. He could not even string the Gandiva bow. He had yielded in 100 encounters with the mightiest heroes of the age. Then he realized that Krishna was the power behind the wheel of his life, that without him he was a spent force. The tribals overpowered the group and kidnapped the women, whose veiling pierced the heart of Arjuna. So be convinced that whatever achievement you make is caused by the grace of the Lord. Pray to the Lord for strength, wisdom, humility, detachment, light, and love. With each step in the pilgrimage of life, approach divinity steadily and surely. End of part 2 of 2. Prashanti Nilayam, February 21st, 1971. The plan and purpose of the ancient religions of India are to plant the seeds of love in the human heart so that they may sprout into saplings of endurance and blossom into tolerance, yielding ultimately the fruits of peace. Sri Sathya Sai Baba,